Are your glasses Hugo Boss?
Yeah,
God, that's so filthy.
they are Hugo Boss.
Why would you spend so much money?
It only cost me 70 quid.
That's so much money.
But then I'm going to have these for like the rest of my life. Or for at least 2 to 3 years.
Do you know how long I've had these?
I don't know. I feel like pre-COVID you had those.
So what, like 2 to 3 years?
Because you used to have black frames.
Would you say roughly 2 to 3 years?
Yeah.
All right, so my glasses have lasted me 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Your Hugo Boss glasses have lasted you 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Do you know how much I paid for my frames?
25.
Would you say my frames are like bad looking, or would you say they're fairly stylish?
They're nice looking. I would wear them.
Yeah, I think 20 quid tops. I'm sure they were Specsavers $17.99 range.
Okay, well, I for some reason went for the Specsavers $69.99 range.
Because they got you with a 2-for-1 bargain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how much is it to buy 2 of their cheapest pairs?
I don't.
40 quid because it's £20 a pair. For years I was doing this. I'd be like, these glasses, and they're like, oh, do you want to come and check our buy one get one free section? I'd be like, fuck
absolutely.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, I do. Buy one get one free. And it wasn't until I was like, what are these ones? And they're like, oh, that's the very cheap range. That's like $17.99 a pair.
You wouldn't ever want to touch
Nobody
those.
wears those. And I was like, sorry, but wait, two pairs of them is what, 40 quid? And she went, yeah, no, which is cheaper than the 2-for-1 single pair. And she went, well, yeah. I was like, cool. I'm just going to buy 2. I'm going to buy 2 of these and fuck you 2-for-1 off. She was not happy with me.
Because she probably lost out like a commission of some kind. I also got fucked with my glasses because I got this pair, which are nice. People compliment them.
I like that.
They look good. I got another pair as well that I wasn't that...
Took a gamble on.
Wasn't that keen on, but I thought, I'll give it a go. And she was just like, yeah,
They look
like
great.
those are really good. Like, they're different. I think you should go. And I'm like, do you know what? Yeah, I feel
Never wear
bold.
'em.
Got home, put them on in the mirror. I went, what the fuck am I doing? Like, look at these. These are terrible. And
You know what fucks me off more than anything? From like people that don't wear glasses or
you mean lessers?
lessers.
Because we can see
the
more than they
regulars.
can see.
I hate when I like, because every time I get a new set of glasses, I will try and get a slightly different style, or I'll
Yeah.
buy 2 specs that are very, very different. And I fucking hate when you turn up and people are like, oh God, what have you done? And you're like, I've got a new style of glasses. I'm like, why? And I'm like, well, because I've been wearing them on my face, and I do. And it's, you know, it's kind of like, I quite like being a glasses wearer because you can have this like, it's almost like a chapter in a book where you're like, my new glasses, my last ones are fucked. I need to get lens updates, whatever. It's kind of like a launch pad into, I'm going to get a crazy new set
This
of
is going to be
frames.
my new visual personality.
Pretty much. Like, it's kind
It's
of...
like changing up your hairstyle.
Yeah, it like launch pads you into a new look.
Yeah.
And then people just have the fucking audacity to be like, oh, I don't like them. I'm like, well, it doesn't fucking matter. They're going to be on my face every day for the next 3 years. So you better fucking learn to like
Get
them,
used to it.
you
'cause
fuck.
This is my new visual reality.
Yeah, it hates me. It hates me. I hate it so much.
It's because it's such a big gamble.
It is the equivalent. But what annoys me is I don't know why people think it's okay. Because if somebody turned up with a very clearly a new haircut or very clearly like a brand new style, I would not be like, what the fuck are you doing? That's a mistake. I'd be like, oh, wow, it's like you're trying something new. I think you're really rocking it. You know, I'm like, it's different, but I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna grow into it. I think it's a great, well done for trying something new.
The more you talked during that, the less I felt confident in the choices that I had made. So if you said that to someone, they'd be like, oh, they did not like it. They're
No,
just...
but like, because it's different. That's a better way of doing it than what people say to us glasses wearers of like, oh, so why did you?
You mean the superiors?
Why did you pick them?
Here's the big problem with a new pair of glasses compared to a haircut or a sense of style or you're trying some different shoes.
Yeah.
Maybe you've worn Converse your entire life and then you decide to wear some
pair of Crocs.
Nike Air Max or whatever
Nike
those
Air
things
Max.
are called. Is you buy the Nike Air Max, I think that's what they're called. I'm not trendy and I don't know about shoes. Or you buy the new outfit.
Air
or
Jordans.
you get the Air Jordans, don't see the movie Air, it's garbage. Or you get a new haircut.
Gavin, don't try and bring film into this
That's
chat that we're having
Who
about
cares
glasses
about that?
and
Film is
shoes.
irrelevant. So you get the new haircut, the hair grows back
Yeah.
within a month. The shoes,
That's not how. What are you talking about?
but your hair will more or less come back to where you need it to be to put it back to how you wanted it. Unless you have
depends
really
how much hair. Like, it depends how much hair you cut off.
But
However,
you-
I understand what you're
You
getting.
know what I
at.
mean?
Go,
or
go,
with
go,
the
go.
shoes,
Yep.
you can put those Nike Air Max or Air Jordans in the cupboard and just put on your Converse again. Or you can put all the old shirt.
Yeah.
If you commit to a pair of glasses, you're committing money and experience because you don't need another eye test for another year.
Yes. However, I mean, to counteract that point, how much is a pair of Air Jordans? Probably like 100 quid. I don't know. I don't buy shoes either. Let's just say the average pair of trendy, quote unquote, shoes is what, like 80 to 100 pounds.
Sure.
I mean, we could just buy more lenses. We could just go and get new glasses.
Yes, this is true. Now that you pointed this out to me, I think my point might have failed.
I fucking hate that you don't get lenses like glasses on the NHS. Because if I am broke, £0,
which often I am.
Often. Go into and I'm like, hey, my glasses were split down the middle like a classic 80s nerd and I've had to tape them up.
And Hermione's done it. Alohomora, whatever she says.
Hermione can't do Alohomora. It's not Alohomora. It's Pero. Oh, see, now I'm thinking about the spell.
The spell?
The spell that fixes glasses. It's not Alohomora. Alohomora unlocks locks. I need to look it up. See what you've done, Gavin. While I'm looking it up. Yeah, so say you're broke and you're wearing full-on like nerd glasses, and you go into Specsavers and you're like, hi, I need a new pair of glasses. Like, yeah, no worries. The ones you're wearing, we can physically see are falling off your face and like are wrecked. Like maybe a lens is cracked as well. You're fucked.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, cool. And to be clear, Specsavers and me, we both know I can't live my life without these glasses.
Yeah.
I physically cannot leave this establishment because I will.
You mean my flat?
No, I'm in Specsavers at the moment. This is why we can't do improv. I physically cannot leave this establishment, Specsavers manager, because the moment I do, I will walk in front of a bus thinking it's a blur. In fact, I won't know what I think it is. I'll just be like, wow, what's that giant red fuzz that's coming directly at me?
They have your life in their hands.
Yeah. And they're like, yep, I totally understand that because I have your prescription. I've done your eye test. I know that you are blind as fuck. Cool. So can I have some glasses, please? Of course you can. That's £50. You fucks.
Also, they won't be ready for a week. So
wait.
Good luck.
Harry Potter fix glasses spell. Oculus Reparo. I was right. I said Reparo. The Reparo is the spell. You have to add in whatever you're repairing.
So if it's
Oculus.
like sphincter reparo.
Yep, that would tighten it right up. Or push it back in depending on how much damage you've done.
Something so dark came to my head and I'm not going to say it. Play the intros.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So won't you lend an ear?
Give me one fuego. One fuego. Yes. I'll only take one. It's like a dog treat. You can start us off while I chomp this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Meandering Movie Podcast.
I may have to admit that the shape of the Tacky Fuego is not good.
Gary has a packet of Tacky Fuegos, and I said he's not allowed to eat them on mic, but because he was such a good boy during the intro, I gave him one as a treat, and as has happened the entire time he's been eating them, he started to choke because they are an awkward shape.
They're Fuego.
They taste awful.
They do not
and
taste
there's
awful.
nothing good about them.
They taste great.
There's nothing good about the Tacky Fuego.
The Fuego part.
But do you know what? There is things that are good. Film fan theories.
Film fan theories. FFTs.
FFT sounds like a spin-off to NFTs.
No. Moving on.
Well, that was some great improv, guys. Thanks for joining us for the Meandering Movie Podcast.
It's the first rule of improv is never say no. But I laugh in the face of that. Film fan theories. I'm not going to say since the beginning of time. Oh, am I going loud? Am I loud as shit already?
You're fine.
Am I okay? I don't want to say since the beginning of cinema, but from like 80s? Maybe earlier than that. But I would say that the film fan theory started hitting its like real prevalent, people looking into like, oh, what did they mean? Kubrick was probably the granddaddy. Maybe Hitchcock before that.
I mean, I suppose here's the annoying thing is you decided we were doing this yesterday.
Yes.
And then...
Well, no. You sent me a list. I said you pick. You said, no, I'm not picking. And then Phil picked a random number which corresponded to this topic.
And we kind of fell into it. I was working all day. I've had no time to do any research. I did 20 minutes of research before this podcast started, and you phoned me 3 times to talk about fire engines, how you forgot the recording equipment, and then I had to guide you through FaceTime on how to get to my flat.
1, haven't seen a fire engine since I was about 7
They
years old.
absolutely exist. I see them all the time.
I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying I haven't seen one. 2, I hadn't forgot the recording equipment. I pranked you.
Well, clearly, because we're doing this right
Yeah,
now.
it was a fucking dynamite prank. I turned up with the orange bag, and you were like, "Oh, Christ!" I was seriously pranked just there.
I love how you said orange bag instead of Sainsbury's bag, because we don't want to talk about Sainsbury's for the 3rd time in like the last 3 podcasts
I
we've
don't
released.
talk about Sainsbury's, like in Canto.
And what?
Anyway, and 3. I'm not doing sat nav anymore. From now on, I'm going to FaceTime you. I'm going to front face the camera, and it's going to be that awkward. So you. And the thing is, I can see the. I can see it. I can see you can even see.
I could see more of your dashboard than I could what was out your window, but I still somehow got you here
You got me here. It's a good way.
because you were lost in like Sucky Hill Street or something.
next to Mandors. If you're a Glasgow fan, Mandors the
I
textile.
think most
shop.
of the people who listen to this know Glasgow.
Maybe not though. I think we get a lot of cross Atlantic reach.
Okay, well, if you are someone who doesn't live in Scotland, I want you to message us in. Message us in, is that right? I want you to send
Email,
us a message
text, tweet.
telling us where you're from. Tweet, don't text
No one's
us.
going to do it.
Tweet us
I don't know why. I don't know why we try
at
this.
Meandering Pod or
No one
email
does
us, meanderingmoviepodcast at gmail.com, and let us know what country you live in. But if it's Scotland, I do not want to hear from you.
I've made peace with the fact that these episodes will exist for infinity. And when I'm old and senile, I'll just put them on one day and have the best time of my life.
That's what I do now.
Anyway, film fan theories.
Fan theories. So,
Kubrick.
I would say the 90s, again, with no research, I'm going to say 90s was a big time because you've got the internet starting to come around, you've got internet chat rooms, you have a lot of movies at that time that
I
are...
think 80s. But I'm in the same kind of...
But
I totally agree, the same kind of area.
90s was such a cerebral kind of like movie experience. You've got your Sevens. Fincher's are a great one for this with Seven and Fight Club. Then you've got your Matrix as well, and you've got a lot of movies kind of like that where it's a lot more cerebral based, whereas the 80s was a lot more kind of like action in your face based.
Yeah.
Face based. I quite like.
Face-based.
Oh, Gary's here, and I'm your face based Gavin. These
Oh,
are
yeah,
our
I'm
names.
Gary.
God, we are so bad at this.
We're rolling with the
So-
punches. We're rolling in the deep.
Adele. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna present each other some of our favorite film fan theories.
Some of our FFFTs, favorite film fan theories.
Oh, that was good. And we're gonna dive into them,
A little bit.
explore them, and really get to the meat of it.
You go first.
I'm so ready to go first. My first one is that, now stay with me in this one, all the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are fake. Now,
Yeah,
you
so
might be thinking,
We know.
of course they're fake,
course they're
because it's a made-up movie that's not real. But
Well, no, I meant they're clearly fake because they tell you it's fake, right? They're like, oh, these dinosaurs, we mixed in some frog DNA. And because what is it? They only had like a partial DNA and they were like, we need lizard DNA. And they used a frog because the frog, I can't remember why, but they used like lizard DNA for that.
this theory suggests that, because like a lot of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park don't resemble actual real-life dinosaurs that... what do you call it? Those people
That existed?
that dig up the bones. Yeah, that existed. So,
Archaeologists.
thank you. Those are the people. So, for example, like velociraptors, it's now widely considered they had feathers and they were about the size of a chimpanzee. Or the dinosaur that spits the
What? A velociraptor was the size of a chimpanzee.
This is yeah.
Wait, is that bigger or smaller than I thought it was?
That's smaller. So it's like up to like maybe thigh height, whereas the ones in the movie are like taller than
Yeah, they're
everyone.
massive.
Yeah.
They love ice cream too.
Did they love ice cream?
No, they slip in ice cream.
So they didn't like it.
Well, no, I think if you watch it frame by frame, you'll see that one of the velociraptors slips in the ice cream. The kids are like, ah! They run out of the kitchen. And in the background, when the main velociraptor is chasing the kids, there's another velociraptor who's on his side and he's like, just having a little slurp up.
I once almost drowned in a swimming pool. That didn't make me like swimming pools.
Wait, it doesn't drown in the ice cream. They just slip in the ice
I
cream.
know, but if you slip,
Do you know why they slip in that ice cream?
What?
Because the film sets it out. Early on in Jurassic Park, the power fails. And he's like, I can't remember who. It might be Sam Jackson's like, well, the kitchen powers failed as well. And then they eat the ice cream later.
But it's all melted.
And because he's like, we need to eat this because it's going to melt. But there's only 5 of them and there's a whole restaurant's worth of ice cream. That's why there's ice cream all over the floor.
Funny you bring out that scene where they're
The
eating
Velociraptor.
ice cream and such. There's a scene between Hammond and Laura Dern's character. Sadly? Ellie
Dern.
Sadler.
Ellie Sadler.
Ellie Sadler.
Well played.
Fucking look at us go. Still got it. Something in there in the old noggin. And they're like eating ice cream and stuff. And he's talking about one of his first jobs working for like a flea circus. And the whole thing about flea circuses is that it's all
make-believe.
it's all fake. You're making the fleas do things that they can't actually
Like
do.
mechanized
Or you're
seesaw, and then the kids are like, isn't this... Wait, sorry. Is this not exactly what the story he tells in Jurassic Park?
that's storytelling.
Yeah, he's like...
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
yeah, that's what I was just saying. Were you listening to me? Is this... Hello? Is anyone out there listening?
Sorry.
If you're from Jamaica, please email in.
What's your best Jamaican accent?
God, no.
That's
The little mix.
mine.
Theory. So the dinosaurs, there's like 11...
Bring us back. Bring us
There's
back.
like I'm gonna keep us going.
Yep.
There's like 11 of them, like 11 species more or less. You'll see in that first movie.
I can name them all.
No, you can't.
T-Rex.
Okay.
Triceratops.
There's not a Triceratops in the first movie, so you've already failed. Oh wait, there is.
Yes,
There's one
there
left.
is.
I'm gonna cut that out.
Sam Neill rams his fist into its shit.
Yeah, the Triceratops.
Triceratops. Brontosaurus.
Yeah.
Velociraptor.
Yeah. Did you not already see Velociraptor?
No, I said T-Rex, Triceratops, Brontosaurus,
It's
Velociraptor.
mental. I forgot. You're only 4 in. I already forgot what you said.
4 in.
No, 4 in.
Pterodactyl.
Yeah. See, now you've kind of.
Dried up.
What's the what's the acid spit you won?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, the collared number.
What about the one that are like flocking like birds that the T-Rex comes out of the trees?
Oh, that's I actually feel like I'm doing myself a disservice here. I used to know all these dinosaur names, but I can't remember a single fucking one of them.
you
That's
got
the
you got 4.
Pachio. Is it a No, Pachio. It's a Pachyosaurus.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. That's in the second one, a Pachyocephalosaurus.
No, just a
That's the one with the big bone bit at the back.
Yeah, that's what's in the herd.
No, it isn't.
And also, that's not what he says that they do move in herds. He says the Brontosaurus moves in herds.
No.
We should have watched Jurassic Park.
Why?
They come through Jurassic Park. The music swells up. After Laura Dern has just gone, none of these plants should exist. This is the wrong time frame. And the camera pans
Ellie
to
Sattler.
what? The camera pans to what? Brontosaurus? Brachiosaurus? One of the long-necked ones. And fucking Sam Neill goes, oh, they do move in herds.
No, but I'm talking about when it's the 2 kids and Sam Neill hiding behind the tree as like...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and
That's
the
when he
dinosaur-
says they do move in herds.
But I was asking which one of those
Pachyosaurus.
No, because he says like they move like birds or something. They're flocking like birds.
He says they do move in herds.
Whatever he says, what dinosaur is that?
A Pachyosaurus!
That's not what it's called.
Fucking for the 10th time. Anyway, I got them all.
So
carry on.
the film theory is, we've not even made it through one. The film theory is that Hammond and all of them just made an amalgamation of dinosaurs and species as to what people thought they looked like
Okay.
in the context of the movie.
Right, I think I'm with you. So they grab the bones. And actually, this kind of tracks real life
Because
as well.
if you take like classic dinosaur movies from like the 30s and 40s, the black and white ones and stuff, and then you take what animals look like now and reptiles now, they just kind of blended DNA and everything and looks to present something that people thought, yeah, that's what a dinosaur looks like. And then Hammond invites Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill, and Laura Dern, the 3 experts, to get them to sign off, hopefully, on what they think they look like, because they have these preconceived conceptions, and he's seen that, and he goes, they think this, I'm going to bring them, get them to legitimize what I
because
have.
Sam Neill's the only one that would theoretically be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
What's he in Malcolm?
Ian Malcolm's like a philosopher.
Yeah, he's no right. If that,
But I think-
he has no right signing off on what a dinosaur
But I
looks
think
like.
he's not signing off on what the dinosaurs look like. He's signing off on the idea of the dinosaurs
I get,
existing.
I'm agreeing that in the sense
Okay.
that he's like, if you're going to get a bunch of people that know what dinosaurs look like, no, that's not what you want. What you want is kind of scientific enough that you can be
Yes.
like, look, we got Dr. Stadler and Dr. Malcolm and Dr. Sam Neill. I can't remember his name.
It's like they invited a gynecologist. And
Yeah.
like, let's see what she thinks.
The doctor part was more important than the actual what they do. And he's like, and anyway, 5 doctors all signed off that we have real dinosaurs.
We brought a dentist, we brought a gynecologist, and we brought a philosopher. And all of them signed off on these dinosaurs looking real. And then, so yeah, Hammond himself, like, because as the movies go on, they try to present Hammond as like, he is this great visionary and
Yeah, he
blah,
was
blah, blah.
fantastic.
It's like,
But he was a
n-
business,man
he's
and a con man.
He's
A self-professed con man because of
Self-professed
the
con
flea
man
thing.
who just wanted to make. He started off as like flea circus. He wanted to make the biggest flea circus of them all, a big theme park with made-up looking dinosaurs.
I actually really like that theory because I think the theme you've just said theme park and I'm like that's because he pretty openly says at one point like it's a theme park, it's an attraction.
The whole presentation is
He doesn't
delivered.
give a fuck about. Like he's even got the cars,
Yeah.
like the on the track, and they're all the actual scientists are like, "Get me out!" and they break it. But yeah,
And then he's got like areas for people to come and have like ice cream and snacks and stuff. And there's going to be
so it's all just a
memorabilia and stuff, and it's all just like a big show, and none of it because he presents it as this is the next stage in human evolution because we're bringing back a species from the dead. Look at what we can do. Isn't this beautiful? We're bringing them back and they can live. And it's like, nah, it's just all fun and games money because he's
crap. This is a slight aside. We're not talking about theories, but following the actual real world implications of there being an actual Jurassic Park, right? So let's follow the thread. Jurassic Park, ignoring 2, 3, World and Dominion.
and there's
Extinction?
World, Fallen Kingdom, Dominion.
Fallen Kingdom Dominion, thank you. Ignoring all of them, let's imagine, hey Gav, did you hear the news? They've opened a real life Jurassic Park, right? Cool. Fast forward 5 years. Ignoring the fact Jurassic Park, well actually let's just imagine it follows the plot of the film and it goes to shit almost instantly, right? They now have the technology. Full on, we can clone things, like properly 100% clone them. Do you know what's coming like 10 years later? Come to History Park, where you could have actual dinner with Abraham Lincoln, Hitler,
Don't bring your gun.
and Winston Churchill. Like basically Westworld, except rather than being like, don't worry, they're robots that have turned sentient. These have always been sentient. This is an abomination. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's in itself is just a great sci-fi kind of TV show or film idea that I'm surprised if someone's not done yet. There's probably a book or short
Probably
story out
something
there,
somewhere.
but like a wee like HBO like show where it's just like we have cloned these people from history. What's the moral implication of that? Let's make a show. I guess Westworld was kind of what's the moral
Westworld's kind
implication
on
of,
that. Except
but-
they're all cowboys and they're dumb fucks.
and it just turned into the most over the top sciencey god complexy bullshit.
I've not watched anything past Westworld season.
Oh, do
no
not.
spoilers.
I watched season 2 and it was real bad.
Is it bad?
And then I never watched 3, and I think it had a 4th season and it
I think
got
it had a
cancelled. And Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad's in it,
Oh, okay.
but he's not as Jesse Pinkman, obviously, because that would be weird.
Oh, okay.
He's like, "You bitches," and then throwing out drugs. That's my Jesse Pinkman, apparently. You bitches. So that's my Jurassic Park film fan theory.
Film fan theory, Jurassic Park. I like it.
Yeah,
Do you want me to go for mine?
absolutely.
All right. So first one, I'm going to start with I think probably the most well-known one that I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
The Matrix within a Matrix theory. You know this one?
For the audience, you know,
But have you've heard of this?
maybe.
Maybe. So
The
Matrix,
thing was with the Matrix, there's so many different theories.
there's a lot of theories, but the one I like the most is that effectively, and I think I like this because the film outright pretty much tells you this. So in the Matrix, at one point, Sam
Sam Neill's in the Matrix.
Sam, I think that's Sam Neill, but I was gonna be like Sam Jackson, but it's not Sam Jackson. It's Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne gives Neo the brief history of what happened with the machines, And he tells them, look, this is the scratch. The machines rose up. They gave humans a perfect world. We rebelled against the perfect world. So then the machines cranked it down from like 10 to a 4. And they put us in a perpetual 90s. And they gave us graft and war and fucking famine. And they basically like gave us a far more realistic version of the world because the human condition can't live in perfection, can't live in happiness. So the matrix within a matrix theory is that the matrix we watch, I guess a bit Inception-y here, the matrix that we watch, all 3 of those films is...
4.
Oh, 4 films, thank you. Is actually... Well, the 4th one kind of breaks... No, it doesn't break it. It doesn't break it. Anyway, all 4 of those films is actually just a matrix. So if you imagine those 4 films are a matrix, and we're just watching the matrix, and outside of that is... So even though we think it's real life, the struggle, the strife that Lawrence Fishburne tells Neo that humans have to live with is the one and Trinity and coming out of the Matrix to fight the machines. So the machines are a level up, fucking happy as Larry, kicking around the earth, being solar powered probably. You know what I mean? Like the skies have cleared up.
Yeah.
Everything is great. And they just have this huge human farm with no escapees, no Neo, no Lawrence Fishburne. Why am I saying that? No Morpheus. I don't know. I'm not calling Neo John Wick Keanu Reeves.
You're so bad with names.
I'm not calling Neo Keanu Reeves. I'm calling him Neo. Neo and Morpheus. There's no Neo. There's no Morpheus. There's no Trinity. There's none of that going on. The machines won outright, undisputably, 100% smashed the humans. Put them in a matrix, but the matrix, the level 4, we need strife, we need combat, we need war, is the Matrix movies.
That's depressing.
It's horrible, right?
Because it's just like, because obviously when you watch the Matrix movies themselves get more depressing as they go on because they get so bad.
Yeah.
But it's just like, there's the idea of hope that we can succeed.
And get out. It also works because at the end of Matrix 3, when Neo agrees, like, oh, you know what? I'll sacrifice myself, the Jesus allegory. I'll sacrifice myself and you can keep the humans in, but we'll keep fighting you or whatever. I actually can't remember it well enough to fully do it justice here, but whatever the agreement is, it's not an agreement of the humans are free. It's like Zion's free.
Yeah, I feel like...
and you can keep the other humans, but we're allowed to keep trying to bust them out. I think that's the rough... It's like a truce, right? Justice stopped Smith.
So it's like a ceasefire.
Yeah. Basically, the machines... And it's a fake ceasefire. So if you want to keep following that little thread, Neo, theoretically, could just be another program. A program that's designed to be taken out, becomes the savior, and artificially forces a ceasefire so that the cycle can keep going and the humans will never win and the robots will always be like...
So he's kind of like introduced as an idea that's disseminated throughout this, we'll call it the drab matrix because it's everything's so grey and drab.
Yep.
So he's an idea that's disseminated by the robots through the drab matrix with little people almost becoming like a religion, picking that up and going, oh, that's it, that's the thing we need.
Neo,
and it drives them to this point.
Because it gives them something to fucking work on. You know what I mean? It gives the
them
humans
purpose,
their strife, their war.
And it's enough purpose that they'll never try and go, are we up? Because they're going forward and not going up.
And they're not looking at the big picture. Actually, the easiest way to... If anyone is still struggling with this at home, the easiest way to think of it is there's green matrix in the middle, which is the green-tinged 90s matrix, right? That we see that Neo's...
Where everyone's got cool leather jackets and sunglasses.
Yes. Then outside that is drab matrix,
Yes.
perfect, where the humans are actively fighting and Lawrence Fishburne tells them, look, humans need war. We rebelled against the perfect world.
They have mech suits.
And then a level up from that is the human, actual, real life. The robots have won. Imagine that one to be whatever color you choose. It could be regular human colors. But that's where the robots are. And they're just watching. And every now and then a little robot intern's like, oh, the one program is getting near the end of the simulation. So should we just make him agree to fight Smith and then sacrifice himself and then they can find a new one? Yeah, sounds good.
I guess that's where
reboot the system. Let's go.
I guess there's in two ways you can then dart off of that. You've got what the fourth movie does, which is that it's like a video game, because technically Neo is just a character created and programmed to run his course, and everyone else is like NPCs almost, and he's just like getting them to where they need to be.
Yep.
Or the other one is this reality that we're in is the next level of the Matrix that we have created for these robots, that the robots have then created for Drab Matrix.
So it's just like a back and forth.
Drab Matrix is then created for Green Matrix. And what's above us? If we're in this, because sometimes, I don't know if you ever have this thought. This is a weird thought I've had sometimes. When I'm asleep, I feel like, or have you ever had thought you've heard someone say your name and you turn around and there's no one there?
All the time. That happens to me more often than... And I haven't wanted to say to anyone, because Hannah's been going on like, oh, I actually think you might have early onset dementia. We should maybe go get you checked.
Excellent.
Because my memory is beyond terrible.
Yeah, mine is gone. But maybe we're just old.
I think the alcohol abuse in our 18 to 26s, coupled with bad genes, we might just be fucked.
I mean, these jeans you're wearing are fine.
These are shorts, you fucking moron.
Yeah, thanks for ruining that joke. I just love the way you looked at me so earnestly. These are shorts, you fucking moron.
But yeah, between that and like things like that, where I just constantly hear my name being called.
That's what
happened to me in the car the other night.
God.
Driving home, Gary behind me, to which I'm then, one, shiting my pants, and two, like, I have to turn and look to confirm that there isn't somebody.
You look in the rear view mirror. That's what it's there for.
What if they're ducked behind one of the seats?
What if there's ducks behind the seats?
What if they have ducked behind the seat?
I was like, why have there be ducks behind the seats?
Oh no, I'm definitely going crazy.
I've got ducks all over my car. That's what I think. It's like it's the Matrix above us of someone trying to like communicate down to us and be like, maybe I'm in some sort of I'm comaed into the Matrix. I'm not learning kung fu, by the way. I would like to be learning kung fu right now, but I'm not. And someone's trying to communicate with me, like Neo, like trying to shout into Neo. And she goes, Neo! And then and he wakes up, and then he's beginning to believe, like that type of stuff, you know? I want to begin to believe.
I like how you did 3 characters back to back there, and all 3 of them were terrible. Everyone.
I should be a voice actor.
You think?
He's beginning to believe.
Why have you made him Nigerian?
I don't know. Oh, you should hear my audio boy impression. Madeline.
What?
He's got a song, and I just like to sing the first word in his kind of Alex Turner impression. Madeline.
What's your next theory? Let's move this crazy steam train on.
If anyone wants to wake me up from this.
Can I have another Tacky Fuego?
Oh, yeah.
That was a good theory.
Yeah, it's a good theory. I'll treat you with a Tacky Fuego.
Yes. I took 2, you fucking dick.
You cheaty bastard. I meant to say sneaky, but said cheaty. Right, I'm going to silence your mic during this section. So my next... Because then also, if I silence your mic, I can just get through what my theory is. See how I was quiet during yours and let you explain it, and then we had discussion? Meanwhile, in mine, you're just like, what's that dinosaur called? I know that dinosaur. Yeah, big fucking... Anyway.
I'm going to look up that dinosaur.
Oh, God. My theory is that Kevin McAllister from Home Alone grows up to be Jigsaw from the Saw movies. So, because when you're thinking about that, that's wonderful, isn't it?
That's fucking good. The reason that's a great theory is because without you giving me any more information other than the headline, I am like, I can 100%.
Because literally, that's because like with the Jurassic Park one or the Matrix, you're like, all right, so explain this to me. With that one, it
Makes
says
sense.
it in itself, and
Right
you can
there.
just start to manufacture whatever wonderful ideas you like in your head. For me,
trauma.
It's the psychological trauma,
Yep.
because the last time you see Kevin McAllister's in Home Alone 2, so then it's just like he disappears. Next time he reappears, he's chained people to a bathroom wall.
With some crazy Goldberg trap.
When he's diagnosed with is it like
Cancer.
cancer or something, and he's like what's the medication and the chemotherapy, blah, blah, and like it can make your head all fuzzy and weird. So maybe it's causing him to revert to his childhood kind of self.
I've been abandoned.
When he felt threatened because he was alone, and he feels alone because he's got cancer and there's no one around him. And then boom, he's like, oh, I'm going to start creating these weird Rube Goldberg Freudian monster machines that I can make people, like, make them splay open and blah.
It's also, is it the first one? Second? It's the first for Saw, right? Where like in one of the flashbacks, the police are like, and this is the other thing. He always makes, like, what is it? They say he never actually hurt someone. They always do it to themselves.
Yeah, because the whole point of this
Of Saw is
of Jigsaw's things is to make you learn a life lesson because of something you've done bad.
Yeah.
Which then turns into, or comes back to Kevin McAllister, which is,
he always makes, like, well, I was actually, now that I'm thinking about this going through, I was like, yeah, you always fall into the trap. But no, Kevin McAllister blasts that guy in the face with a BB gun.
but he's trying to teach them a life lesson because
the lesson exists.
he's trying to teach them a lesson because, like, they tried to break into his house and steal stuff. Like, you need to learn your lesson.
Harry and Marv.
Yeah.
My favorite one is when Harry, after burning his hand on the door handle, when he gets the H imprinted on him, brilliant. Then he eventually goes around back and he's like, I got you now, you little bastard. You didn't check the back door, and he set up that blowtorch.
Yes.
And it's
The scream.
it's every time I watch it. It's not everything about the scene is fucking hilarious, but it's just who's the actor? It's not Bob Hoskins. It's not Danny DeVito. It's the other one. The other balding, angry man, Joe Pesci.
You're so bad with names.
It's Joe Pesci. It's just Joe Pesci cranking the door open, fire, and he stands.
He just lets it happen.
For like 5 seconds, just screaming. And I understand the shot's fucking hilarious, but it's his face. Like
Meanwhile, my favourite one is in Home Alone 2, where Kevin McAllister clearly run out of ideas and just lobs a brick off a roof.
this will get someone.
This will do something, maybe. Sets up these elaborate things. Of, like, he's got like the paint cans coming down and hitting people, the stair falls, the BB, the heated thing. You're like, oh, he's... I mean, it's horrendously sadistic that he's been able to think this shit through.
It is. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's all like, you know, swept away in Home Alone and Home Alone 2. Under the guys, he's a kid. He's using toys.
Yeah, he's been creative with his kid stuff.
He's been creative, and he's got to fight back against the baddies. But no, he's being a little horrible shit.
To the point he just lobs a brick off a roof onto a man's head. That would kill him.
Harry and Marv are immortal. I think we spoke about this in a previous episode, right?
Most definitely.
Like a while back. But Harry and Marv are in universe canon immortal people. They are just having to break into houses and unable to die.
And it's just they're trapped in this. There's another theory. They're just trapped in this horrible Groundhog Day loop of trying to break into houses and just getting utterly destroyed.
Oh, man.
But then the idea that then Kevin McAllister grows up to become Jigsaw, where he creates even more elaborate, violent machines.
He kind of looks like that. Who's the actor that plays Jigsaw?
But that's the other thing. It's like they're both blonde, they both have blue eyes, and they've kind of got a similar jawline.
Dilophosaurus is the one with the collar.
Is that the name of the actor or the character?
No, that's the
dinosaur.
The dinosaur.
But you, the last thing you asked was what was the name of the character, and then you came back with Dilophosaurus.
Sorry, I was on my last Google search, and yeah, no, who is the actor that plays Jigsaw?
I can't remember the actor. I also can't remember the character. The Wet Bandits. Also, we could call the two guys the Wet Bandits.
It's Tobin Bell. And
Tobin Bell.
It's John Kramer. I remembered it was Kramer.
But yeah, I just really like that whole idea that just this, because obviously Kevin McAllister in Home Alone is quite sweet, and Macaulay Culkin like is great as that kind of like
Macaulay Culkin.
See, that could be Macaulay Culkin.
You age him up now that Macaulay Culkin's off the crack and filling out more. Yeah, I see it. Tobin Bell and Macaulay Culkin, same.
Do your Googles out there, people.
Do your Googling.
You'll see that it looks similar. So now it's fun to watch. If you want to watch all the Home Alone movies, you have to watch Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2, then Jigsaw's 1 to like 5. Then you've seen all of the Home Alone movies. So there's your Christmas this year.
1 to 5. Jigsaw's 1 to 10. Are we
No,
up
but
to now?
that
Book
doesn't that
of
character like die and then because there's the one with Chris Rock recently and that Tobin Bell guy wasn't in it.
That's true. But he comes back because then he starts coming back in flashbacks.
True.
And then there's that one that you're like, whoa, when's this one set? And it turns out it's a full prequel.
It's like a jigsaw. You got to put it together. So this Christmas, watch all of the Jigsaw movies and Home Alone 1 and 2.
Home Alone 1.
Plus,
Home Alone 2.
the most sadistic monster of all is in Home Alone 2, Donald Trump. What's your next? I'll give you a tacky fuego, and then we'll go into your next theory.
Fuego me up, baby.
That's the sound of awful crisps. They're not awful. If you're out there, people, I was going to say if you're out there, people, of course you're out there. Where else would you be?
If you're in these little microphones,
we'll
let you out tomorrow.
Go to your local corner shop, get a pack of tacky fuegos, and then email in or tweet us or hit us up on DMs and let us know what you think of tacky fuegos.
Gabby's incredibly wrong on this one. It's so good.
Me and my girlfriend and Audio Boy all agree that tacky fuegos are fucking gross.
That's just confirmation bias.
What's that? What?
That's confirmation bias.
How?
Well, you all agree. So there's 3 of you. You all agree,
All
so
right.
which means you've decided you're all
Does
right.
Does Hannah like tacky fuegos?
Loves them.
I don't believe you.
My next one
Your next theory.
is less about a movie.
And more about
in
a
the
way
sense
of
that
being.
It's not about a movie at all.
Oh, for fuck's! Is this going to be like Sonic or
It's
something?
movie adjacent.
It's going to be a video game, isn't it?
Tommy Wiseau. Tommy Wiseau?
Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau.
Famously
Directed The Room.
Director of The Room. Terrible movie.
That's a new movie coming out this year.
He does. And
It's
he's
a shark movie.
a show movie at the end of the trailer he put an advert for boxes for some fucking reason.
Yeah, he's got belt buckles and boxers and stuff.
He's nuts. So Tommy Wiseau is, if you don't know, for anyone who doesn't know, the director of The Room. And if you don't know what The Room is, a very quick, very quick kind of history of that. It's audibly and well known as being the worst movie ever made. It is acted badly, directed badly,
Written badly.
shot badly. The only thing it has going for it is that it inexplicably had sets and a full crew working on it, which will have cost money. And we have proof. We obviously know that people worked on these films, and they had a full Hollywood studio.
There are plenty of interviews out there with people who worked with them.
And it's not like, oh yeah, me and Tommy was over in college and we were friends, yada yada yada. Like it's full crews. People were crewed up for the day, for days on end. So there was a lot of money. Even though that film's terrible, there's a lot of money put into that film. Going on to Tommy Wiseau. Tommy Wiseau appeared out of thin air, it seems, right? So when you speak to anyone who knows Tommy Wiseau, he speaks with a very, very thick kind of like Eastern European accent.
Yeah.
But if you ever push him on that, you're like, where are you from? He just adamantly says California. He refuses to admit he's not from California, right? So there's that, which is fucking weird. There's the fact that he funded this whole movie. And for anyone that doesn't know, Tommy Wiseau paid for the entirety of The Room. And when people pressed him for like, where did you get your money from?
Where did the financing come for all of this?
Where did you finance? Like, where are you getting his money from? Are you like a .com kid? Are you just a fucking heir to a European country? just tell us the truth. And he was cagey about the whole fucking thing. So all we really know about Tommy Wiseau is that he appeared he just kind of turned up one day in California, LA, out of nowhere, it seems, in the kind of end of the 80s, and then just started trying to get into films and TV and shit like that.
And the Hollywood business.
Do the whole Hollywood shtick. Then inexplicably had the money to fund a film, wrote it, direct it, and insisted on being behind the camera for chunks of it. And that all comes through, it all shines through if you ever watch The Room. So the theory, I fucking love this theory, is that Tommy Wiseau is DB Cooper. Famed, you know who DB Cooper? You know who DB Cooper is?
Yeah, I know who DB Cooper is.
Tommy Wiseau. The theory is that Tommy Wiseau is DB Cooper. It all fits.
Do you want to explain to people who DB Cooper is?
So anyone who doesn't know.
And also, DB Cooper is not is not Bigfoot, and DB Cooper doesn't ride the Loch Ness monster, and DB Cooper isn't Loki.
So DB Cooper, if you don't know, DB Cooper he's a genuine real person who stole a bunch of money from the American bank and then just vanished.
We got on a plane and then parachuted out of the plane, either with the money or some of the money,
Definitely with some of the money,
but not all of it. And some of it was kind of scattered over. I think it was like the Canadian.
But he had a parachute. They found the parachute. I think they never found the briefcase. I think they found the parachute, and then they searched the area around him, and he just apparently vanished. He just disappeared into thin air. So he's gone down as one of the most. I think he's one of the most with inflation and all that shit. One of the most prolific robbers in American history. And this theory just states that, it's Tommy Wiseau. And the timelines, if you look at it, the timelines kind of match up. So there's like a 5-year gap, and then Tommy Wiseau, bam, bursts out onto the scene. And what better way of spending your money by turning up with a fucking vaguely European accent, insisting you're from fucking California, with a wad full of cash.
But then why would you choose to do something so prolific? Why wouldn't you just want to disappear into the Canadian border? What if? You know, there's that, because I just said he's not Bigfoot, but you know that famous video that was quote unquote Bigfoot, where it's like a faraway shot and he's just kind of awkwardly walking.
The gimbal footage.
What if that was Tommy Wiseau in the Bigfoot suit?
You mean DB Cooper?
What if that was DB Cooper / Tommy Wiseau in the Bigfoot suit, and that was his first foray into filmmaking, but people took it to be real, and he was shooting it as like, oh, this is just my first short film. And so the first Bigfoot movie is a short film directed by Tommy Wiseau, uncredited, and he liked the enjoyment and fame of that so much.
Shit, I could do this. I've got so much money sitting in that briefcase.
I should go to Hollywood and write a weird rom-com.
What is The Room? What is, like, how do you
Why would you
that?
think I was going to have an answer to that question?
It's crazy.
Is it? No, it's not that movie. But you think, it might be that movie where he thinks to have sex you need to penetrate through the belly button.
Yeah, he's doing like the fake sex, but he's so.
But then that's also the movie Showgirls, where like the way they're having sex, he would be like going into her belly button. Showgirls is a weird movie as well.
That's a Phoebe Buffet, right? What's the name?
No,
is it not? Oh no, it's not. It's the girl from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, and then
she has sex with that guy in the swimming pool. And she acts like a dolphin
from Twin Peaks and everything, and Dune. And it's just wow. Yeah. What if that was Tommy Wiseau? And that's
Tommy Wiseau was in Saved by the Bell.
That's why the performance was so weird, and that's the only 2 occasions in cinema that I'm aware of where people think they have to have sex by putting the penis in the belly button. He's also doesn't know how to play football.
If you've never seen The Room, please go watch. There's that bit in The Room halfway through. They all turn up in tuxedos. And then then they start calling that guy a chicken, and clearly Tommy Wiseau, the director, was like, "This is how you do chicken."
You're tearing me apart, Lisa. I did.
We can't go down this route because it's a nightmare.
I did not hit her. Oh, hi, Mark.
But yeah, anyone who's
my favorite customer. Hi, doggy.
Never heard of Tommy Wiseau or The Room. I don't know if I'd say watch The Room. If you're gonna watch The Room, find a couple of people that want to watch The Room with you. Get drunk or inebriated, however you choose, and then watch it. It's a fucking.
We should
wild
also make it clear we're not talking about the
Brie Larson movie.
The Brie Larson movie, The Room. We're talking about just Room. Just Room. There's no there. So in case you think we're just like, that's a Brie Larson movie, what the fuck are these 2 idiots talking about? No, we're talking about the Tommy Wiseau movie, Room, which you can probably like. He's really weird about gaining access to the movie. So no, you don't get the tacky fuego yet. Don't fucking put your hands out like a wee baby wanting a treat.
I'm done talking about this.
No, we're not. I've got more to say. Because Tommy Wiseau, he likes to now do those kind of Rocky Horror Picture Show-esque experiences.
Showings,
where like he shows up.
You get to talk along
and people lose their minds and he's there and he's like the big star of the show and he's got 3 belts on. But he doesn't dress like DB Cooper dressed when he went missing. And
you can't dress like you would dress when you went missing. That would draw too much attention to it.
But that would be the most like baller move ever. To show up dressed like DB Cooper
you then get in trouble. He needed to turn up. He needed to like he needs to be in the limelight, but to do that, he had created this character, Tommy Wiseau. He's a weird looking fella as well. He looks
plastic-
like he's melted. He looks like an action man with a wig on that was left in the sun a bit.
And
too
that could
long.
fall into the DB Cooper thing of he needed to change his face. So he got like a very weird, like, probably went
Hair
over to
and
Russia
Mars.
or something or whatever,
Where
or
he's from.
Siberia, and got like a weird face transplant. And that's where he picked up the accent when he was in Siberia.
He's bizarre. It's
I'm
crazy.
really good at this Tommy Wiseau DB Cooper theory.
Fuego me, you motherfucker. Just let me have them.
No, you get one.
All right. What's your next theory, Gavin?
I should point out, this is my last theory because I only had time to figure out 3.
I have 2 more.
Okay, good. My next theory, I forgot, load. My next theory is that
I'm saving my last one, my big one for last.
James T. Kirk
Captain Kirk.
was captured, imprisoned, or killed by the Voyager probe in the first Star Trek movie, and everything else that takes place after is just all in his head.
What's the Voyager probe?
So the Voyager probe
I
is...
think you need to do a bit more, a little bit more Star Trek history for me and for our listeners.
It might be like I almost set it up like this. So Voyager 6 was a probe sent out from Earth, which was a real probe that was sent
Right.
out by Earth.
Not in a Star Trek world.
No, in reality, sent out there. And in the idea
like
of...
Sputnik.
Yeah. And the idea of the motion picture is this advanced alien race discovered the probe, but didn't fully understand what the probe's
Discovered the
purpose
probe.
was because the probe was damaged. But they knew the probe's primary purpose was to gather and learn as much about the universe as it could.
So it's not the one with like "Happy Birthday" written on it in the math.
It's got like the gold plaque with like the picture of the man and woman, like songs. For, like,
Oh yeah, it is
yeah,
that thing.
yeah.
Then. Yeah.
And so it's the idea that this advanced alien race captured it, repurposed it, made it into this giant, like all-consuming cloud of knowledge, and send it back out into the universe. And so it makes its way back to Earth, but they did it kind of wrong, and the way it consumes is by deconstructing and consuming it literally.
Yeah.
So like Klingon warbirds, for example, are just getting wiped out,
Right.
and like massive stations are getting destroyed. But then when the Enterprise comes to it, the cloud lets the Enterprise pass through and get to its center, and Kirk gets there and he's like, Voyager, oh, it's Voyager. And then there's the idea that the probe captures or imprisons Kirk, because Kirk is one of the greatest Starfleet captains that the planet has ever known, and he's seen more than perhaps any other human on Earth. And it's like, I'm going to explore him by having him. And so then every movie afterwards, quite coincidentally, all revolve around things from Kirk's past, i.e. like TV show past,
Yeah.
or things that Kirk wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, for example, the next Star Trek movie is The Wrath of Khan. Khan shows up, Kirk's greatest enemy. He gets to fight Khan and defeat Khan. Then you've got the search for Spock. Spock dies at the end of the Wrath of Khan. So he spends search for Spock, bringing Spock back from the dead. Voyage home, they go back in time and save
Is that
Wales.
what the Search for Spock's about?
Yeah, they go and say, because Spock's body, obviously, you know this, gets
Obviously.
launched onto the planet that the Genesis was put onto, and Genesis creates life. So
Okay.
while the Genesis probe is...
You're dropping words and fucking things at me like I'm meant to know what the
Yeah,
fuck you're
so the
talking
Ge-
about. And you
everyone-
look so happy right now.
Everyone knows this, obviously. So the Genesis probe is creating a planet, because the whole point of Wrath of Khan too is they're trying to reach Genesis, and then Khan wants to take
Speed.
and then we've got Genesis. So in the search for
Spock's body's on the Genesis probe.
it's on the Genesis planet.
getting turned
And so while the
into
planet's
shit.
being terraformed from a moon into a real planet,
Yeah.
Spock's body's being reborn and terraformed into a new life. And so he starts from baby into grown man.
Right.
This is all in Kirk's
And this
head.
is because Kirk, like,
This is all in Kirk's
Spock died before or some bollocks
Need
like
Kirk,
that. And this
need
is,
Spock back.
Yeah.
In real life, it's just because Leonard Nimoy wasn't sure if he was coming back to the movies because he was not happy with the money he was getting.
Yeah.
But in the movies, in Kirk's mind, in Voyager. And then
I feel like that little aside you gave us about the real reason why kind of flies in the face of what the film theory episode was doing.
that doesn't matter. Because then it goes, because literally in Final Frontier, Kirk fights God.
I I'm okay. What? That's crazy.
And defeats God.
I'm gonna come
My
back
ad.
to that. I am stuck, and I can't quite get over this hill. The probe was called V'ger,
Yeah.
and Kirk misconstrues that to Voyager.
No, so
What was the Voyager part?
the probe in real life was called Voyager 6,
Voyager.
and it's sent out
Why were you saying V'ger?
because with the probe traveling through space, it gets like kind of dust and dirt and stuff on it, and so those bits
the Oya gets covered.
that gets covered, and so the
V'ger.
probe just calls itself V'ger because that's what what the aliens saw and thought it was called.
That's dumb
They
as
thought it was
shit.
V'ger, so they called
Right.
it V'ger. So that's why when they initially see V'ger or encounter that name, they're like they don't recognize it. They don't know what V'ger is.
Isn't Star Trek Voyager a thing
Well, there's a TV show, Star Trek Voyager. Yeah.
about this?
No, that's about the
Jesus
ship
Christ.
the ship
Jesus
called
Christ,
Voyager that gets catapulted into the Delta Quadrant, and then it will take 70 years for it to get home.
Right.
So they start the 70-year long mission to get home, but they end
Who's
up.
in Voyager? Picard.
That's Kate Mulgrew, who's
That's
Captain.
after Picard.
That's after TNG.
Is Fraker on that one?
Fraker.
I don't know. The
Jonathan Frakes. Well, so no one from TNG appears in Voyager.
names. Right. Okay.
Hold on. Nope. Geordi does.
Who the fuck is Geordi?
He's the visor guy.
Oh right. Does Data? Do they have their own Data?
No, they
have a different
They
Data?
have a Vulcan called Tuvok who's kind of like, I don't have emotions. They
Do
also
they have another? Oh no, because Data's unique.
yeah. Well, he's
trying to
well.
remember
There's
from-
Data, there's Lord, and there's B4. There's three of them.
Yeah,
technically.
I was trying to remember from that night we drunkenly watched Star Trek, and you did this, and I was inebriated, and it was far more palatable.
So-
This is hell.
Let's circle back to that theory then. And at the end of Generations, it's Kirk fighting against the simulation. I literally just chose this one to do this to you. Because my initial idea was I was going to find 3 different Star Trek film theories and just slowly deliver them to you to the point where you descended into madness.
You've done it in one.
I did
Well
it.
done.
I didn't.
You've done it
I
in
didn't need
one.
other ones. So that is my Star
It's a
Trek.
good theory.
Yeah.
If I keep saying this, I want to watch more Star Trek. And
Yeah.
This is giving me more like.
I mean, to be fair, we would have the last time we hung out, but my internet died
I was buzzing
because you're a curse upon my flat.
I am. Nice new router.
Yeah,
Old
thanks.
router. Do you want my last 2? One of them is a little shorter because I didn't do as much looking into it. But I read it and I was like, that's interesting. So then I'll give you that, and then I'll give you my big
I
one.
mean, my final question will be: now that when you go forward to watch Star Trek and you're going to watch Star Trek: The Motion Picture and so forward, do you think this film theory will now
I'm going to be watching it, waiting for V'ger to appear.
literally appears in the first movie?
Well, then after 24 episodes,
I can't wait for you to walk out of this flat today, purge your brain of everything I've literally just said, and then one day you're going to be watching Star Trek: The Motion Picture and be like,
wait a minute.
I know this.
So my third one, my quick third one, is that Jack. And the reason I bring this one up is because when we were like, we should do this, and I know quite a lot of film theories, but I went looking just to like remind myself of my favorites, and I seen this one, I was like, I've never heard that, and this film's been out for fucking ages. So in the Titanic,
Yes.
Jack is not just a regular passenger; he's a time traveler who has come back in time to do 2 things. The first one is stop Rose from committing suicide,
Okay.
because that would have had a butterfly effect, and then that feeds into the second reason that Jack's back, is to fully ensure 100%
Rose kills herself.
that Titanic hits
Sinks.
the iceberg,
Oh, okay.
and it doesn't change the course of time. So there's only a couple of things. There is only a couple of reasons that people think this, but the 3 big ones is that 1, Jack himself is pretty anachronistic. So he has a haircut that is quite modern.
I love if you stop there. He has a
Has
haircut.
a haircut.
That's it.
In the 40s, they didn't do that. I don't know when the Titanic sank. Yeah, but he's got quite a modern haircut. So, and obviously that was just Leo DiCaprio turning up, and he's like, I'm Leo DiCaprio. I'm cool as fuck.
It's 1912.
1912, thank you. But yeah, he's got a haircut from like years later that he shouldn't technically have. He has a backpack, which wasn't of the time. It wasn't the style. Men didn't wear backpacks. That's just not a thing that existed for men, but he has this backpack. And thirdly, the big one that a lot of people are kind of like is he's like, when we get back off this ship, Rose, I'm going to take you to, this is wrong, so I apologize. But he's like, whatever it is, I'm going to take you to Coney Island, and we're going to ride the
Such and such ride.
Pepsi Max, whatever
Yeah.
the fuck it's called, which wasn't built for like another 5 years. I couldn't think. All I could think of was Blackpool
No,
Pleasure.
But I just love it's 1912. He's like, we're gonna ride the Pepsi Max ride. And
I'm going to take you
and
to
then he
Blackpool and we're going to ride the Pepsi Max.
turns the camera, opens the Pepsi Max, goes, "It's the only drink for me." And you're like, James Cameron, what are you doing? What is this?
But yeah, but like the whole theory is basically, and there's probably more to it, but I just skimmed. But there's probably more to it. But I just love this idea that at some point in time cop fucking history, they were like, oh shit, this woman's in this timeline. I don't know how time cops would work, because it would, if they already know that the Titanic has to sink, then why would, like, you know what I mean? Like, how does, anyway, I'm going on a time travel.
We're not going to time travel again.
Anyway, time cops are like, holy shit, look, she's depressed and she might kill herself, and that will butterfly effect stop the Titanic sinking, which then in turn would start the nuclear holocaust. I don't fucking know how it works. Someone needs to go back, and he's like, I'll go back. And he goes back. And he goes back in time, and he's like, Rose, don't kill yourself. And she's like, oh, I'm so depressed. I have to marry Cal Hockley, and he's a fucking royal dick. And he's like, well, I suppose if the only thing that will stop you from killing yourself is shagging me, if it's for the timeline.
If you have to, you know.
So I just love that. That was
He's like,
one.
but beforehand, I need to have my Pepsi Max. Fuel me up.
The other one, and this is the bigger one that I wanted to talk about, and this will probably be my last one, is that in The Prestige, the theory is called the no science theory. Have you heard of this?
No.
Cool. This is going to be fun then. So, if you've not seen The Prestige, very quickly, the whole film is about magic, and the rest of them, I don't think really have spoiled much. But The Prestige is the one that I think might be in the kind of like, you may or may not have seen it. So spoiler warning from here on out if you haven't seen it. Basically, The Prestige is about two magicians that are constantly trying to one-up each other.
Yeah.
Angier and Borden, played by Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale.
Look at you remember these names.
I know, right? It's because I fucking love this film.
Oh.
So, as the film progresses, Christian Bale's character Borden has a trick that can't be replicated. He basically appears, he disappears through a door and he appears on the other side of the stage, and it drives Hugh Jackman mad. He's like, what the actual fuck? He can't replicate the trick well enough. He can't figure it out. He knows for a fact it's the same person coming out the door, and he's like, it's impossible. It's beyond magic. It's a fucking, like, it's an impossibility. So it drives him crazy, and he gets Borden's notebook and he's reading, he steals it or he buys it, I can't remember. And eventually it leads him to Nikola Tesla. And he's like, this is where
David Bowie.
Played by David Bowie, yeah. And Borden is like, this is where I got my trick. So Angier goes out, meets Nikola Tesla. Tesla's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's fucking, that's not a thing. And he's like, it is a thing. I've got the fucking notebook saying you've done it. Make me the same thing. Nikola Tesla, in the confines of the film that shows you, makes him a cloning machine, and then which allows Angier to perform the trick. But the way he does it, because he commits to the bit, and that's a big part of the film, is you have to commit to the lie, is every night the machine clones him, it drops him into a giant like tub of water that drowns the clone or the original. He then appears further away and he's like, hello, I'm here. And then the film goes on and there's a few other bits and pieces. So that's pretty spoilery without some of the biggest spoilers.
And that was an aside. A fucking great movie.
It's a fucking great film, right? So the theory goes that at the end of the film, Michael Caine's character, Michael Caine, gives you the whole, now, you may have watched that and you may or may not believe, but you want to believe. And that's what magic really is, or whatever he says.
Really is.
And people kind of picked up on that. They're like, wait, why the fuck are they reiterating the whole point of, like, magic only exists if you truly believe in it? And the motive is, like, you think what you saw is what you saw, but it weren't. That's the trick. People kind of took that as like, wait, if I go back and rewatch the film, what have I missed? And there's plenty in there, in the confines of what the film presents. But the big thing that stuck out for people is that the Nikola Tesla sci-fi cloning machine sticks out like a fucking sore thumb. Because the film is set in the 1940s, I guess, ish.
Yeah.
And like Tesla, even in his own time, even in real world history, was a bit of a crackpot. Like, he was a genius, but whatever. So people are like, well, that's kind of weird that Tesla's in there. And not only is it Tesla's in there, but Tesla makes a fully functional cloning machine. So the no science theory is that if you go back and watch the film, Tesla is a crackpot. the machine doesn't work. He took Angier's money and fucks off.
Right.
And if you watch the film and you kind of go back through it, the cloning machine has never worked. It's wax dummies that are in those water containers, or they're replicants somehow other way, but they're not cloned. The cloning machine has never, ever, ever worked. This is Angier figured out a different way of doing the trick to fuck with Borden, and there was never any science.
Also,
the whole film is always like the whole film, and as it presents to you, is just a trick. The actual story of the film is a trick. Everything about the Prestige is a fucking trick, and you fell for it because it was the easier option, and you thought you had it, but you never had it. There's no science. It's all magic. Fuck you. I'm Christopher Nolan.
So it's like, obviously, because he shows Nikola Tesla the notebook. So Nikola Tesla gets to study it. Being the smart man that he is, he's like, I can figure out how to do this even better. Or I figured out he's done it and I want to do the same thing. He gets Andy Serkis to punt a bunch of cats and top hats into the forest.
to sell the lie.
Because he's just like, I wander it that way at some point. He's like, where are all these top hats coming from? He couldn't have possibly just bought a bunch of top hats.
Yep.
They must be clones. And the same with the cats. He can't have just bought black cats. So they must be clones. And I guess because the film and the Hugh Jackman character is running towards that idea, it makes you, the audience, just get on the same track and be like, this is what's happening. Because now that you point it out, that all the film is all times presented as these are just magic tricks.
Everything's a trick.
To then hard fucking left veer into Nikola Tesla's
real
clone
science
machine
and there's a cloning machine.
doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Because the whole film is presented as these are magic tricks.
Everything's a trick. Right?
Except the poor little bird that gets crushed.
Except the poor bird that gets crushed. But yeah, like, so it's I went down a fucking deep hole the other day, and the reason it came up, and this is another kind of piece for like why it doesn't make sense, is if that cloning machine was legitimate, if it was a genuine 100% cloning machine, there are two pieces of information that show us that it's not. The first one is that he like fucks his leg up at one point, remember? And if the cloning machine clones him, it will clone him with a fucked up leg. But the fucked up leg like stops existing near the end of the film. So it's kind of like, well, that's weird. Then the second, and then it eventually comes back. The second, and this is the bigger one for me, Angie is a smart man. We know that, right?
Yes.
And with all the fake outs, we know he's a pretty loaded, very smart man. But he's also like, maybe not genius, but he's intelligent enough, right? And him and theoretically any clone of him would all be desperate to... They were all in the same mindset of, fuck Borden, we have to win, right?
Yeah.
Why would he need to clone himself 100 million times? Why would he clone himself multiple times for a trick? After one cloning, he has two of him.
Yeah. He never needs to then...
He never needs to drown himself every single night. That's all just to fuck Borden and frame him and get him murdered.
Yeah.
Like, so the theory goes deep, and again, deep spoiler territory here, folks. The theory goes even deeper that Angier figures out Borden's trick so early on into the film, but because that whole thing in the film that is commit to the lie, he keeps the facade that he doesn't know up, finds a double, and just uses it to frame Borden and get him murdered and executed because he's so deep into the fucking rivalry that he can't get
another
out.
thing that the film presents is you have that magician who's like an old man.
Yeah.
But it's this whole idea that he's not an old man, and it's just the character.
Just for the fishbowl. That's like a big turning point for the film.
The whole point of the movie is just like you have these magicians who go so deep into this that it becomes the character becomes their reality, and then it's just that fuels who they are as a person.
So what I fucking love about this theory is that the film is constantly telling you it. The film is constantly telling you that from the very beginning to the very end, that these magicians will go to any lengths to live the lie and to sell you the lie. Oh, wait, here's a magic man Tesla with a magic machine that can clone you. And also Angier dies and yada yada.
And it's just like a good magic trick. It's showing you at all times, but you don't see it because it doesn't. You don't want to see it, but then when you do see it, you see it.
The whole
and you're
film.
Like,
the whole film. It's just there. Anyway.
This,
when I was down this, I've kind of just presented it from the very here's the reason it makes sense. There's a few people and there's a few.
But there's always going to be this is why it can't happen.
There's a few things that do make it not make sense. But I just think as a fucking film theory that I read it and I was like blown away.
I feel like
so fucking
for me,
good.
I'm always hit or miss with film theories because I feel like there are two main camps of film theories. There's the one you've presented, which is here's an idea of what's going on in this film, but if you don't think it's what's happening, then it doesn't change the film for you, and you can still enjoy it. Then there's the other kind of theories where it's just like, this film isn't good, but here's a theory, and if you
really
go off
good.
this theory, then it's good all of a sudden.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
like, there's those two camps. I obviously like the camp, but it's just like, I can now watch The Prestige again, and I have that idea. But if I'm like, nah, that doesn't line up, cool, then that theory's out, and I just watch the film as
Because
it's.
the Prestige still rocks and it still works.
Yeah, and it's still
But
great,
It's,
and you-
it's an interesting one to watch it through this new lens of the whole film is a trick.
Because like, what was it, Phil or Audioboy was talking recently about that movie Tar with Kate Blanchett, where like a lot of people saw it. It was a lot of people loved it, a lot of people hated it, and then there started to be this theory that like there's a ghost involved and stuff, and like if you look at this, and Audioboy looked into it and he thought, oh, I think I like it better now because of the ghost idea,
yeah.
but there's nothing to support the ghost idea. And I'm like, so then you're just so that's what people
just
do.
finding things to
You're
make you like it.
manufacturing an idea to make the film you thought was good better, or to justify why you
might like
justify
it.
why you like it. That's the thing with film.
It's my whole
fan
thing as well. And
games.
this is very, very, very quick. But my whole theory on the John Wick films are the best, at least 1 and 2. And kind of we'll stop there. But John Wick 1 and 2 are the best video game movies we've ever had, even though they're not video game films.
Oh yeah, with like the gold coins.
Man,
and-
mate,
yeah.
go back and watch John Wick 1 and 2. Those films are presented to you like they're a video game, but just
I think we've talked about this multiple
we have.
times. in
I
the
fucking love it
podcast.
though. But for me, it improves them. I think it's great.
mean,
Anyway, that's a fucking long episode.
No, we've done longer than this. We could keep going. Let's keep going. We just keep going.
People don't want to hear it. We're done.
That was a
good.
great. Here's a tacky fuego.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the whole bag now because I'm gonna do the outro,
Fuego me.
and I'm gonna mute your mic.
Don't let
So
people listen to me.
thank you everyone for
People want to
listening.
hear me talking while you're talking.
No, thank you everyone for tuning in to an episode of the Meandering Movie Podcast. We are trying to do minimum one a month because Gary and I have such busy lives. But we're going
The
to.
problem is I live too far away.
You live too far away.
If I lived in Glasgow, we'd be doing like maybe twice a week.
We'd be doing it every week. Yeah, for sure.
We'd have our Star Trek podcast off the
We
ground.
would have it, but that'll never happen. I want it to. But so yes, thank you for listening. What's the word I want? House cleaning, house chore, a thing. Go on Spotify and give our podcast a rating. Give it a 5-star rating, please. That would be wonderful.
Yes, please.
Same on iTunes. Leave us a review. Give us a wee rating. Share this with your friends. There's a lot of you out there who really like this podcast. You always come to me and tell me how much you enjoy this podcast. I know one of you out there listens to this podcast in the shower. So if you're showering right now, don't forget to check that you don't have any lumps down there. That's important.
Male or female?
Male.
Hey, this one's for you. I'm going to give you a deep vibration while you're showering so that you can feel.
And if you want to get in contact with us, I want you to jump down into that description. You will find links to our email, our Facebook, our Twitter, and our Instagram. Give us some love, give us some likes, give us some interest, and give us some suggestions of podcast topics you want to hear us do in the future. I look forward to hearing from none of you, and I will cry alone in my bed at night, except sometimes when I'm with my girlfriend, and I'll still cry, and she finds it weird. But we go on with it. It's fine. Thank you for listening. I have been I forgot the name that I gave myself.
You said you were the muck duck.
I'm the ducks in the back of Gary's car when he's driving. Gavin Stewart.
I'm Gary. I mean, Tack and Fuegos.
Bye.
Music is life.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So